Hey everyone, we're back with another episode of With Love Soleil. I'm feeling called to, why does it look like this? Feeling called to light this incense. And there's been something that's kind of present on my heart recently, and I thought it would be nice just to present it to all of you because I know that I need this reminder pretty regularly in my life and in my work. So I know a lot of you who watch this are probably energy workers or highly sensitive people, and you feel in many ways kind of the weight and the suffering of the world. And I think there's always this duality present of like knowing your power and knowing how you can help the world honestly by being attuned to the energetics of the collective and sort of allowing and offering your power and your energetic presence to transmute and transform the suffering and the heaviness that exists when major crises happens, or even just in general day to day, because there's a lot of suffering on this planet. And what I want to say about that is, one of the things that you learn when you go through any kind of healer training, so maybe some of you know this already, is that, you do someone else a disservice when you carry their weight and their heaviness for them. And I think that's such a key reminder for all of us, because what it is that ultimately, whatever heaviness we carry, whatever pain or suffering that any one of us carries, it is ours for a reason. It is the weight of the pain and suffering that actually offers the highest opportunity for transformation and for self-realization. And sometimes it takes, like heavy burden and heavy challenges and, the utmost sort of dark nights of the soul, so to speak, to really transform on a foundational level, right? You have to kind of get to the bottom of the barrel in many ways to repave and resurface your foundation. And it takes the pain, there's a reason for pain. Pain is a great transformational tool. And so what you learn then in this work and as a healer, energy worker, is we're not here to carry anyone else's weight. We can hold the space for them to do their own resurfacing. We can hold the space for them to heal themselves, to reveal their own pain and challenges, and to be with that and normalize that and offer a pathway and a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, for this to transform. But carrying it for them is only robbing them of the lesson that the pain or suffering is ultimately offering them. And so we want to look at that from like the larger perspective when we think of offering our gifts to the world and being present with the suffering of the collective. And when these major catastrophes happen, this is kind of coming through because of the Maui fires recently, of course, whenever that happens. And for those of you who follow me on social media, other than here, you know that I have a very close relationship to Maui. I've lived there for many years. My parents live there, my dad and stepmom. My nephew lives there. My brother lives there most of the time. So it's like a home for me, absolutely. And so it really hit home literally for me, and my nephew's home burned down. Like there's a deep tie there for me. And my immediate response is like, how can I help? I literally was like feeling like I need to leave Miami and sort of rush to the aid of the island, and I had to sit down, I had to sit myself down and like allow, we can't save anybody from themselves, and we certainly don't even want to save people from their own pain, because again, we're only going to rob them of the lesson. And so yes, space holding is beautiful. I think that's the shift here, is shifting from jumping in to save the day to holding space for whatever is to be, and for whatever lessons are present to be present, and for whatever challenges to reveal themselves as a pathway for progress and for moreness. And so I just wanted to give all of you that because, obviously the past few years have been some pretty deep, dark night of the soulish vibes for humanity as a whole. And, it's taken I think a lot for the healers and the energy workers and the seers even of the world to not want to just kind of like ring the alarm of awakening for all of humanity and try to wake everybody up and like shout from the mountaintops, like, guys, just wake up. Like, it's doesn't have to be this way. And it's true. While that's true, for some, it does. For your path, it doesn't, because you see what it is. You see your truth. You see the truth. You see through the illusion, and not everybody does yet. And so it requires the illusion still for some people to be able to see through it eventually, if they even do in this lifetime, which is very much so a choice, which is why, there's a saying like, pain is, I'm about to mess it up, dang it. Pain is like, basically pain is always going to happen, but suffering is optional. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. There she is. And that's so true, right? Because we all experience pain, we all go through things, and not all of this human experience by any means is like rainbows and butterflies. Like, that's not what it is. And it's not what it's meant to be, especially if you're on the conscious path, because it's like navigating truth and like higher reality in a 3D world that is so stuck in the box of the matrix that you are an outsider in a world that you don't even want to fit in, but you like want to help people because it can be so immaculate outside of it. And yes, all of that is real. And also, that your role and the gift for you is that you get to be out of it. You get to see through it. Like, that is like such an ultimate gift for you. And it's, a reflection of the work that you've done on yourself ultimately. And in this lifetime, in many lifetimes, right? Because, it usually takes the momentum of many to really awaken. And so we carry that momentum into our lifetime. I obviously believe in that kind of thing, if not disregard. But all that to say, even in this lifetime, we live many lifetimes. And a lot of that has to do with the conscious journey and the awakening journey. And so as you reflect on your own path, you can probably look back and be like, yeah, this pain was like one of my best teachers. And it is, right? Like, pain is one of the best teachers. And maybe I'm a super Scorpio coming through with my super Scorpio vibes with this, because transformation is what I do. I've lived myself many lifetimes in this one, and I don't shy from challenge. I don't try to avoid or deny or escape when something's uncomfortable for me. I sit with it. I allow for it. I invite whatever's coming up within me to come up so that it can be revealed and therefore healed. But it's everybody's own thing, right? And so we need to look at our own lives and realize the value of challenges and the value of pain and struggle in our own lives. And then we can offer that same to another, instead of feeling like we always have to save the day or that we have to carry the weight of the world. Because, the human experience, this 3D reality, it's not like we're certainly not in the utopia quite yet. We're not in we're not in the highest vibrational expression of human reality. If we're being honest, on a collective level, we're still very much working in that direction. So if you are there and trying to carry everybody up with you, you're doing a disservice. You're doing a disservice to not only your own self, your mission, your power, your gifts, but to the people who aren't ready for that, right? You're alleviating them of their lesson. When it seems like you're alleviating them of the struggle, you're actually blocking them from getting the fullness of the lesson. So there's a really beautiful nuance and discernment of, I can hold space for someone in their challenge. I can understand them. I can, allow them to feel what they're feeling and go through what they go through without carrying half the weight, and then adding to my load that I've already lightened because I've done this work, and, they're doing it. And so let them do it. Don't feel like you have to save the day. Don't feel like you have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Don't feel like, you have to even, there's this like theme and term of like reducing the suffering on the planet. And, I think ideally, yeah, we do want to do that. Like, if we can, in whatever way we can navigate reducing the suffering on the planet, like, let's probably lean in that direction. But there's a key discernment between what is reducing the suffering and what is blocking someone from the fullness of the lesson that pain in this moment is offering them. So, I just want to give you this in part just to like understand that you're doing enough by by awakening in your own life, by living a conscious life, by even being one who can understand what I'm talking about. You're doing far more than enough. I think it's like we feel like we always have to help because we can see so clearly what's going on, or as an awakened person, you see things differently, and you have a very beautiful and almost sort of like non-attached or objective perspective. And so, like, yes, offer that, bring that in where it's appropriate, lend that out when you can, but you don't have to save people. You don't have to save people. You can send love and prayers and energy out. You can do your grid work. I see us as like the crystals of the planet. Like, we offer, energetic presence all over wherever we are. There's many of us all spread out all over the world doing this work in just who we are and our own energetic presence. And let that be enough, because we also get to be human. And I think when you're an energy worker and a healer, it can be easy to just feel so burdened by the suffering on this planet and, the 3D reality that we don't even get to enjoy the fruits of all of the work we've put in for ourselves. But now you do, now you do. And so, yes, crazy things are going to continue to happen on this planet because that's what they do. And unfortunately, there even are agendas and forces at play that create crazy things to fulfill whatever narrative or agenda whoever is running this show has in their head of what they think that they're doing. And so there's a force that's creating certain things that is very unfortunate, because to me, I'm like, if you have that kind of power, why not create light? Like, why not create heaven on earth for all people? Why not alleviate suffering versus causing more of it? It's not logical. You can't really the dots aren't totally connecting with these kinds of folks, obviously. And yet the truth is, they live in their own version of hell. You've created heaven on earth for yourself. And anybody who gets to even experience that is gifted by your presence. They're gifted by your essence. They get to just have those moments of like freedom in just being in your energetic truth. So let that be enough, let your work lead the way, and also have fun and enjoy, and don't feel like you have to carry unnecessarily heaviness that's not yours to carry, or you have to be out here saving people or relieving people of their lessons, really is what it is. Enjoy and still enjoy, when catastrophes happen, send the love. Like, let's all commit to holding that vibrational, just massive higher expression. Let's all give it as much as we can, like immediately just flood it with that, and then set it down. That's enough. There, I think, there's like this, like, also theme of people being like, there's prayers and, love and light and prayers is not enough anymore for these catastrophes. And I understand what they're saying, but on the other hand, we don't even know what we create when we come as a collective together and, as a whole, send massive major energy. We don't even know. We don't even get to know, because there's not the math that does the math. It doesn't even math yet, because we're so sort of on the leading edge of consciousness, the leading edge of thought with this kind of work still. So we just have to trust it. We have to trust it that whenever we lend higher vibrational energy and joy and, healing and prayers and divinity over to a circumstance, and we send intentional, focused energy, that it's doing good. And that's enough. That is you playing your part in relieving the suffering and helping facilitate the healing through these experiences. So just know, it can be heavy. It can be really heavy. And especially when you start to see with your third eye, like, the truth of this crazy world that we live in, and, this matrix reality that has us like all not in our highest expressions, so to speak. It can feel heavy, and I don't think it needs to. I think that the real revolutionary is the one who says, I see it. I see what's happening here. I see the plays that are being made, and I'm not gonna play. Like, we've already won. To even be able to have these kind of conversations says that you've already won. So stay in the winning, and let them all kind of rise to meet you at their choice right? People still have to choose. You can't go and be like, you awaken, you awaken, and you awaken, and everybody awakens. It doesn't work like that. There's an active choice. You can live in your awakened lifestyle and in your joy and in your energetic power and just the high vibrational energy that you've created for yourself. And you can let that be the best awakener for all people everywhere, which it frankly is. Them just seeing you embodied the experience of having awakened. And that's it. You know, if they choose to like, there's this guy's figured something out, and they want to ask questions and lean in your direction, by all means, open up the conversations, open up the pathways, like let them in 100%. But you can't go and shake people awake. You simply cannot. And you're going to waste so much energy and time trying to shake everybody awake and taking your blowhorn to the top of the mountain and telling everybody to wake up. It's not how it goes. You know, everybody's on their own path, respectfully so. And rightfully so, and necessarily so, right? There's not even right or wrong here. It's just everybody on their own path, playing their divine role, showing up where they are, and making the deliberate choice to either consciously awaken with their own choices or stay asleep or stay, you know, tethered to matrix ideology that keeps them out of their highest self. And a lot of that is personal choice. You've made your choice, and it's reflected in all that you do and all that you are and everywhere you go. And that is plenty. It's plenty. I'm proud of you. I see you. I respect you. I honor you. I know how hard this work is. I know how alone it is. It's you and God at the end of the day when you're doing this work, you and divine, you and universe, whatever you want to say it, but you know, you and the higher forces, and that's it. When you're at the bottom of your barrel, going through a dark night of the soul, you can phone a friend, but you still got to hang up the phone and go back to being just you. And so it's not easy there. You know, a lot of people would avoid that space like the plague, and that's a choice because they're robbing themselves of the lesson that those spaces offer them. So don't do the same robbing, you know, let them hold space, love people completely, show up as fully as you can for the people around you and the people that you care about. Yes, 100%. But you don't have to like put them on in your backpack and carry them up, you know, let them take the steps. You can even kind of put your hands out and, you know, help them step if that feels good and it feels like you're part of your agreement. Beautiful. But, you know, you don't have to carry the weight. You don't have to carry the weight. You've lightened your load over lifetimes. You've crystallized your presence over lifetimes. Own that. Enjoy that, baby. That is your reward. That is your reward. So keep sending the love and light. Let's keep praying for Maui. Obviously, I'm still working through some of that myself, and whatever else is to come, you know, but stay crystal, stay the crystal, you know, don't do your gifts a disservice by overgiving and by, you know, trying to offer them out fully and everywhere and all the time so that you're depleted and you don't even get to enjoy the reward of just being in heaven on earth. You know, radiate that presence, stay in your truth, rest. You are the revolution in just who you are. That's the incredible piece of this. You are the revolution in your own experience, right? The revolution is not going to be televised. We certainly know that. Revolution is not necessarily going to be on the front lines, picketing and marching. We've certainly tried that. The revolution is vibrating higher. The revolution is living your highest joy. The revolution is saying no to the BS. The revolution is living an awakened lifestyle and holding the space for other people to choose to awaken as well. That's what the real revolution is. And you're already there. If you're hearing this, you're receiving this, you're understanding where I'm coming from, you are already there. You are the revolution. When you're resting, when you're playing, when you're having fun, when you're at the grocery store, when you're doing your work, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, your energy itself is what the real revolution is. That's what it is. The conscious revolutionary is the one who has awakened themselves and therefore lives in a matrix reality through an awakened lens and offers that possibility to all people who even come in contact with their atmosphere. And then it's up to them. There's still the choice point. You're giving people the choice point. That's enough. That's plenty. So let it be that, and rest and have fun and enjoy. Live your life, shine your gifts, polish them and sharpen them and get better and continue to awaken because you never arrive. Continue to embody because you never get done, right? Continue on your path, and let that be the offering that you give to every single person that comes in contact with you, 7 generations, future and past, and 7 degrees separation thereof, like literally all people everywhere. That's what you're doing. And I want you to know that. And I want you to know that that is far more than enough, baby. That is far more than enough. Okay. That's what I got. Thank y'all. Love you guys. Shout out to my nephew Levi, who's in Maui and has been on the ground and doing his work. Like, so proud of him and seeing him shine and be in his space and play his role, just as we all are. So let's send Levi a little bit of love. His house did burn down in the fire, so he's been, working through and still, going back in and doing all the things. So proud of you. I'm proud of all of you for doing your work, whether you're on the front lines or in your meditation seat. Like, you're still doing the work, and we see you. We need you just as you are. All right. Okay. Love you guys. See you next time.